Nope.
Don't.
Okay. Bye.
Hey everybody and welcome back to ARK Survival Evolved. You're busy, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, so today we decided to redo the wall. Before I get into that, there's a couple things. So last time we introduced the waypoint mod, and we had a couple issues with our Gigantos not really following the waypoints we set up. That was completely my mistake. It's not the waypoint mod. What happened is I had already placed a couple routes, and when I showed that off, some of the routes weren't working as I wanted, so I basically used the builder's helmet to pick up these waypoints. Now the way this works is you craft one waypoint, put it down, and then from that waypoint onward you hold E to add a waypoint, so you get a waypoint extension that is linked to that particular route. And I just picked them all up with the builder's helmet, so I had both waypoints and extensions in my inventory, and it looks like when you place them down, the mod really doesn't distinguish which is what, or something like that must have happened. So instead of placing a new route, I actually placed an extension waypoint from some other route or something like that. So I picked them all back up and threw them all into the water and just started fresh and crafted each route individually, placed it down, made sure that I didn't pick anything up and place it back down. And as you can see by that Giganto down there, that works. Now, I would show you more, but as you can see way over there where that new tower is, new tower, that guy already walked off the edge. And there's another one behind the wall who was patrolling up here from this waypoint all the way over to another waypoint beside that tower. We thought we had it figured out. The issue is not the mod, it's the natural AI thing, the turning radius of these creatures when they have to turn around. So that Giganto over here has his waypoint right next to a wall piece. When he turns around, that wall stops him from falling off. And over there, it doesn't seem to walk off. Once in a while it looks like he's gonna fall down, but he doesn't. So it's probably just a matter of time until he does. Over here there's way more sections where you can fall off, even though the waypoints are right next to the tower, so it shouldn't be able to fall off while it's turning around. So we were thinking we need to redesign this wall a little bit to make that work. We do want patrols on here. And we had a lot of ideas once we started brainstorming. One of them, Scott is currently working on, which is the inner wall here, to make that look a little more, I don't know, natural? Flow with the terrain. It's not a wall piece that is going to be patrolled, that's just... it's a wall. It's a separation between parts of the city. I mean, even this guy over here, which was walking quite nice in the intro of last episode, this guy fell off. He's still walking around. He's still following the waypoints outside of the wall. Yeah. So, one of the ideas we had is just use S+ glass to frame this in and then just hide the frame. I can show you that. Not here, no. Right there. And then obviously on the other side as well. If we use this all the way along the battlements, select model, no sides, there you go. You won't see them, and you run into them. You can't walk off, everything's good. That's one idea we had. Now we thought, well, we could as well just make them too wide, same as the towers, which led us to the idea of, you know what, move the tower in the middle of the wall. Just have the wall straight without having stairs in between, because they cause the major issues here. The battlements can't continue, as you can see, that looks a little bit weird. And this is where you walk off. Right there. If he gets too close to that and he walks off the wall, that's it. And I think that is what happened most of the times. So to prevent that, we cannot have different heights. So if we stick to one height of the wall section, then whenever we have a height difference, we just put a tower and continue the wall higher than it was before on the other side. That would work. It would look okay, definitely good. And it would also be something that you find real-life examples for, so we would have to move this tower one out, or the wall one in, so that you run smack against the wall here. There's probably going to be a door, then you get inside, up the stairs, out the other side, and then you can move on. Obviously, the Gigantos won't do that, they would just patrol the different sections of the wall, so they would also not have to patrol an area that's too long, and they won't run into each other. It's just one Giganto per wall section. That would work quite nicely. And then we thought, if we move this tower out a little bit, we might as well just make the walkway too wide, same as the tower, as I just said, and have, one door that is just for traversing the height distance in walls. So you go in one side, move up or down, and then come out the other side, and the other door is just for descending and ascending inside the tower if you want to get up or down. That would be a thing. And then I went a little crazy from there. I think that's the best way to describe this, right?
Yeah.
So, we're currently setting up a little testing area down here. One section of a wall which is 1 wide and one which is 2 wide. Still need to put in some walls there. We're currently just crafting up the walls. And then once this actually looks like a wall section, we're going to try to do a couple of things here. You want to see what that looks like if we put a roof on top. That would pretty much look very, very similar to what you've seen us do with the coastal fort, where we have the outside area, but we do have a roofed section. Or the closest approximation we have is like this piece of the bank. So we want to see what that looks like. We want to see if we can stick a Giganto in here and if that would work. Because then, obviously, if we do something with arches here, we can't put glass wall in the same snap point. That's just not going to work. So, do these arches work? Do they prevent the Giganto from getting out, falling off? Can we use double wide door frames, which we've used for arches as well? We will figure that out in a moment. Also, this structure here is new. I didn't even know, none of us knew, that the classic flyer mod that we have actually comes with this right here, the totem. And that totem is pretty amazing because it controls your flyer population. So you can go in here and say, count wyverns, and it tells you we have about 50 of each, which is the allowed amount as per config setting. Now, when I placed that down, we had 300 of each, which is what you've seen in yesterday's video, or well, the day before, the last video. And you can go in here and say force cull, and then it starts glowing, and it will kill every surplus flying creature on the server until the population is reduced down to within the limits. It also does that automatically in certain intervals, which is really cool. It can do more stuff, it seems. Haven't played around with this yet. Not much. But it's definitely good for keeping the wyvern population in check. That's something Ragnarok really needed. That's glorious. Alright, so let us get to making some more of these walls and testing some stuff. And once we're done testing and have decided on what it's going to be, I'll probably show you the testing phase. We're going to redo this whole wall. Yay! Are you excited?
Overjoyed.
You couldn't have said it any better. Alright. Testing area set up. So one is a 1 wide and one is a 2 wide. Let's get up there. So what's the major difference, except for the width, obviously? Ooh. Oh, wow. Well, we need to, if we want to put a roof on here, for a 2 wide we can use regular roofs, right? One on one side, one on the other side. For a 1 wide we can only use the roof toppers, which only have half the height of a regular wall, roof, whatever. So that might look a little bit tight. Now let's see. The Giganto doesn't seem to have a problem either way. Can you walk through the doors? Through the archways? That's one of the main issues here. No? Yeah, no.
Well, take off the battlements. Let's try it without the battlements on it and see. Nope.
No, he doesn't fit. If he doesn't fit through there, he doesn't fit through the archway. So he needs something bigger than just a regular door to walk through. Which means this is protected from walking off. We don't need any extra shenanigans with trying to get glass in here as well. Which is good. Now the question is, do we use the arches over here or do we use the double doorways? I think the double doorways look more sturdy, for one. They go well with the battlements, because they are pretty wide. The arches look a little bit flimsy. And obviously, the biggest issue is that I can't get up. It's not the biggest issue, but it's my major concern right now. Let me in. You have these battlements with these, what you call that? Indents?
Yes.
I would say so. And that works well with the double wide doors. It does not so much with the archways, because you have this pillar right smack in the middle. And you're supposed to, you know, pour hot oil and whatnot out there. And shoot out there. And yeah, no, it's not gonna work. Now also, if you want to have some of the small cannons that we used on the coastal fort, because this is a military installation, this is the main defense for the city, then it does make more sense to have these wider doors, so we can actually put a cannon here. Maybe even not have the battlement here, just have the cannon. We could try to use the corner pieces for the battlements and see if they fit here.
You know what I think?
Every
other one. Or every two. Every two, just like we have here.
Yeah,
Take a
exactly.
battlement out, throw a cannon down.
More than that would be probably too much. Well, what we need to figure out first is how long are these stretches of wall going to be? Because we do need regular intervals between towers if we use the towers to traverse height differences. And I think if we say, okay, we do them in increments of 3, then we can do that. 2 battlements, 1 open section. Well, technically 3 times x plus 2, because otherwise you end with the open door. You want 2 more battlements after that, right?
Yep.
So you can have 3, 2 battlements, 1 doorway, plus 2, which we have right now, which is 5. Or you would have something like 6, 2 battlements, 1 free, 2 battlements, 1 free, and then plus 2, the other 2 battlements, which is 8. Or something like that.
If we do 5, we can then do a tower every 20 to 25.
Yeah, well, it's in increments of 3, so you would end up with like 18. 18 can be divided by 3, right? That's 6. And then, yeah, 2 more to end with battlements instead of a hole. And that would be 20. Yeah, that would work.
Yep.
So we could do that, definitely. Question is that something that works? Or do we need to go smaller, or do we need to go bigger? And that's something we will have to figure out when we lay out the new wall. Okay, or, like I said, we go with a 1 wide, or 1 deep. That works too, but then we can't put any cannons in there, because then the guards can't patrol. They won't get past those cannons, no way. This is a bit bulky compared to the other wall. But then again, if that's a major defensive wall, you will probably have some supplies up here. Cannonballs. Exactly. Stop interrupting me, stupid monkey. No, it's an ape, I know. So if you have a cannon here, then you will probably have some cannonballs, some powder, some barrels for your arrows, for your archers, and stuff like that. Yeah, I like that idea. It's cool. And that's one of the reasons why we have a roof on here. It's not for the rain. No, it's to protect you from, you know, a hail of arrows. We're doing it right. Yeah. Okay, so next thing would be, probably, do we agree that we use this too wide?
Yep.
Alright. Next thing
Oh,
would be...
you thought you were going to get a choice in this? No. This is too wide.
Okay. Well, that definitely fixes the issue with the Giganto walking off.
Yeah.
It fixes the issue of with having a wall that looks a little bit weird due to the staircases and not being able to have battlements on staircases. For whatever reason, that it is a major oversight, same as some of the roof pieces that you need for certain types of corners are missing. Right? I have it here at the cafe, for example. The outside you can do, mostly, if you know the trick, with these triangular pieces and stuff like that. And weird overlapping shenanigans. But the inside of this, you wouldn't be able to do, because there's no corner that goes around the inside. Which is why we don't have one. This is just a regular 90-degree angle. I have that over at the merchant's living quarter quite often, where I had to figure something out and then end up with something totally different in the end, because it's just not in the game. It's just not a thing that you can do without having a gaping hole somewhere, or a roof sticking through into your living room. So, yeah, it's a thing. Alright, so we're going to tear this all down, since we now have a fairly good idea of what we want to do. And then we're going to start overhauling the wall up there. Now, do we want to have, since this is too wide, do we want to have this centered on the tower? Or do we want to have one of the pieces going outside the tower and the other one just, you know, being... meeting the tower? Because we could use the walls as they are right now and just have them come in by one, as you basically started up there already with having the second row of foundations.
Yeah. I think that would work out a lot better.
That might be an idea. The thing that I have with that is, technically, if anything, the towers should stick out and not stick in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're sitting in the towers trying to shoot down, and when you look directly down, you see your own people on your own wall. You should be outside the wall seeing down. True. Which means we would have to move the towers, otherwise we would have to move the walls in by 3 or 4 pieces. And that's too much. That doesn't work with the terrain up there.
Yeah.
Otherwise the wall just looks inverted, I think. Oh, yeah, it's raining and stuff, and I can't make it any brighter. Yeah, come up. Oh, that didn't help. Great. We're gonna think about this for a little while and beat each other conscienceless. And then we come up with something. Hey, see what you're doing there?
Who, me? No.
Goodbye!
Nope.
Don't.
Okay. Bye.
No. Did I mention we changed the turrets? Oh, see that damage? Yeah, these are one-shot turrets. They're pretty much the same kind of turret. Don't need energy, don't need ammunition. They just sit there and kill. Which is gorgeous. So I've distributed these turrets everywhere around, even in the water. I hit some within the rocks, which you can only do when you ghost in there. So they don't disturb the optics, but we still have a very secure area to work in. That's gorgeous. So, over here, nothing much has happened, but you can already see stuff over there. So let's have a quick look. We've doubled up on foundations here, because this wall is going to be 2 foundations deep. We said that, right? This has to be completely torn down and remade. That over there, we will see if we keep it at that height. Probably one higher to match up with this side. We will see. Not quite sure how we do this side yet. But we've done a lot of work over here. I mean, look at all of this. So we decided on doing it this way. The wall is always going to be the same height until it meets a tower. And where the tower is, we decide on which the new height will be. So these walls should always be 3 walls high off the ground. So over there, as you can see, where it meets that tower, it's 3 walls high. And since this terrain over here dips a little deeper, it's obviously higher than that. Scott has been working on getting the towers up and running, well, at least this one, a little bit. Yeah. And we have, let's see, where can I get in here? Here. The old wall is still there, as you can see. This is a mock-up of what the walkways will look like. That's one of the lovely turrets. Awesome admin turret. Yeah. Lots of XP. HP? And, ooh, does a lot of damage. Awesome. So, as we said, we will have 2 of these banisters, battlements, whatever, and then we will have 1 free, and then we will have another 2, and that's how we made this wall. So everywhere where there is a ceiling on this side, like there's one over here, and then there's 2 free, and there's another one, that's where the turrets will be on this side. Turrets, cannons, turrets to make it work, cannons to make it look good, something like that, probably. Unless we decide to hide the turrets somewhere, we will see. And I've gone through the trouble of going all the way around here. Let's get up. Whee! Shift! Do. Good landing. Perfect. Something else died. Ooh. All the lag. Yeah, it has a lot to load now. There's a lot of 3x3 walls in here. Like, yeah. This one here is a 3x3. The Keep Wall XL. That's amazing. That saves so many entities, and we still have so much to load. And we actually have to up the server here and give it some more memory and maybe some more processing power. So we will have another tower over here. And doing it this way basically eliminates all the slopes that we had. So all the Gigantopithecus that will be patrolling on top of the wall will just have a straight wall section. Yeah. Look at this thing. Look at how long this has become. Yep, all the way over there. Ooh, yeah. So this will be pretty high turrets in some of these areas. It's not yet finished, as you can see. There's some holes in there. And this side has not been done yet, and we don't have turrets over here, which is also a bit of an issue. But we have extended the wall all the way to over here. Now here, there will be a gate. We'll see, some type of gate, and then we will come over... Oh, come on. Let me do this, please. See, that's what we have to deal with. 3, 2, ARK, go. Fine. And then we can tear down this S+ wall down there. Let me do first person. And go over here. So it will not be perfect, as you can see. That's not a perfect 90-degree angle. We will probably come somewhat this way. Yeah, we'll have to see how much we extend that. We want to end up over here, right at this rocky pillar thing. Whoop. Oh, wow. The lag. Right, so that wall will extend over there and then come over here. And then this will be the main gate area to get into the city. We said that like in the first episode. So that you end up down there where the tiger is patrolling. And we'll see if we do a gate over there. Probably not, that's just going to be a wall. The gate's supposed to be up here, doesn't make much sense to have another gate there. But over there we will have a gate, as there is currently, because people need to get into the mountains. That's one of the things. When that is done, we will have a wall all around the important parts of the city. Now, as I mentioned before, over there in the distance we will start the slums, and over there we will start the farms, and then over there we will do the main castle. And the church is over there, which you can't see because rendering distance. And this will be the nobles area. And we still need some middle classes, and we still have other plans for the area. Like there's that lovely cave over there. We're going to do something with that. We'll see what that turns out to be. But for now, we're done. We're currently still crafting up a lot of material. That's so far like 400 foundations. I think we have 300 foundations in the air, and something like 250, 300 walls, plus all of those 3x3s, that's another 150 of those. It doesn't look that much, not from up here, but it's a lot. Scott has redone the slope part. There will not going to be a sentry on the slope part. Why would there be? It's an inner wall. If anything, down there, which still has to be finish that area. But yeah, that's how it's gonna look like. And then we have the garrison over there, obviously. And we will see how we connect all of this and how we have our guards theoretically get inside the towers. Well, obviously, we just put the Gigantos on top and then that's done. But, you know, it's supposed to be somewhat of a roleplay thing, so there needs to be an entry and an exit and all of that. So next time, we're gonna finish this. But for today, that's it. Let me stand here. Oh, there. See? Works. Haha! That's it for today, folks. If you like the video, subscribe for more, leave a comment if you feel like it. And don't forget to enjoy yourselves. See you soon.